and I just preached a sermon about 2 Samuel 7 where God promised gracefully to be with David's family forever. And so I got a bunch of really great questions. Thank you so much for the wonderful questions. I'm going to answer 3 cards, 2 questions today. The first comes from Bill, and Bill says, what is the significance of God using Nathan to speak to David rather than revelation directly to David? Great question. I hadn't really thought about that, but think of it this way. Sometimes we need other people to speak into our lives. There are times we are not listening to God, and it's not because of a moral failure, but we have this great idea of what we're going to do. I'm going to build a temple to God, thanks David. And we need someone to pull us back and say, well, that's not what God has called you to do. God has spoken to me directly to say that's not right. We all need people like that in our lives, a good friend who can speak the truth to us in love. And then I got 2 versions of the same question. Lisa asks, please address verse 14, which says, I'll read that to you, I will be a father to him, and he shall be a son to me. When he commits iniquity, I will punish him with a rod such as mortals use, with blows inflicted by human beings. But I will not take my steadfast love away from him. Lisa asks, if Jesus, not Solomon, what does it mean when he does wrong? And this person didn't write their name, but they said, referring to Jesus, not Solomon, what do we do with verse 14 where it says when he does wrong? Same exact questions. Please write your names of these questions, friends. Yeah, what do you do with that? Well, Jesus did no wrong. Jesus was without sin. And so what is going on here? I think it is a reflection of what happens to Jesus at the cross, that he was beaten with rods by people, not because he was wrong, but because there was sin in the world. And Jesus, who knew no sin, took away the sin of the world. I think that this is Nathan's God-given vision of what happens to the one who takes away the sin of the world. That's my best guess of what that could mean. God did not need to punish the son of David, who is Jesus Christ, because he didn't ever do anything wrong, but because Jesus took on all the consequences of my wrong and your wrong and everyone's wrong. He did pay the penalty for our sin. And that's hard for us to hear.